And that's the thing.
I'll
like
take that. I'll take that hit.
everybody thinks that they shouldn't for all the reasons that you just mentioned, but the call of a good leader is the fact that you're willing to sacrifice that to do for the potential of doing something right. Yeah.
There it is.
My podcast.
Oh, already my video may be lagging.
Your video may be lagging.
Dick.
It may not be.
Eat a dick, Dale. You sold me a shit computer.
I'm pretty sure that wasn't their intention.
No, I mean I just bought a cheap computer is all it was.
Yeah, exactly.
$100 and something. It's crashed on me like 50 times.
50 bucks worth of crashing.
Yeah, I mean I've had to reboot it.
You guys you can hear that definitely.
Yeah,
that's right.
probably.
We like to record in cool,
I can turn it off.
air controlled space.
You want
No,
me to turn it
I don't
off?
think that. It's up to you.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't give a
Do
shit
y'all
either.
care? Oh wait, it's too late.
Yeah, you're in it now.
Anyway, what's up, man? My podcast, His Man Cave.
My podcast, His Man Cave. We are back again. This will be a good episode. My mic will be working.
Yes.
This episode.
Do you know what episode this is? I'm gonna start calling them by their episode titles. You ready?
Oh, by their episode titles.
Yeah, the episode. This one.
Yeah. I was gonna say episode Peter Pan finally pecks a pickled pepper.
You know that's my dog's actual name. It's Peter Pan. Peter Pan Samuel Gates.
Is your dog running for president of Disney? Like,
No, it's just what the kids named him.
Yeah.
The other cat is Izzy Louise Samuel Gates, and she's a girl.
Okay.
And then Gumbo is Gumbo Samuel Gates.
Yeah. All your dogs do sound like Disney characters.
Yeah.
They
damn sure don't act like
one
it.
is named after one, so that's obvious. But
Which one? Peter Pan.
Peter
Oh,
Pan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm an idiot. Okay. My podcast, His Man Cave. Pow! So anyway, we were talking a minute ago.
Yeah, we were talking. We'll open it up with what the internet is ablaze about. What everybody's talking about. What everybody can't get enough of and has to say something about. Bill Burr did some Bill Burr shit, and we should all be angry for some fucking reason. It's like, do you not know who the man is? Like, the thing that angers me most about it is that he's clearly baiting them by doing a monologue on SNL. He's
Right.
clearly baiting every single person that reacts poorly in these situations, and not a single person doesn't take the bait.
Did you see the rest of the episode?
Of SNL?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a standard SNL
Yeah.
episode.
Did you see there was one where he was like an old time mobster, and it was
Yeah.
the whole rate like.
Yeah.
Are people up in arms about that, or is it just his
It's monologue.
Just
It's
the
his-
monologue.
It's just the monologue.
His monologue wasn't bad at all.
Yeah.
I watched, but you know, again, I try to be a
You-
comic.
you watched
I
it through
see in different
comics eyes.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
Through a different lens.
You thought of everything he was saying as a joke.
Because that's what it was, right?
How dare you bring facts and logic into this kind of argument?
Well, hold on, stop me if I'm wrong here, but isn't he a comedian?
He is a professional joke teller, and he was in a comedy. He was in a comedy show setting.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now I see why people are upset.
Yeah,
it makes sense now.
He was in a comedy show, being a comedian, and he said some things that, by the way, are nowhere close to the worst things Bill Burr has ever said.
You're absolutely right. That was clean.
Listen to his podcast. He says some truly.
Listen to the End of the
fucking-
World podcast.
Yeah.
Where, that presidential election
Ooh.
one where they were all together. That was
Yeah.
a crazy ass episode. That
Yeah,
shit was funny as shit.
like Bill Burr can say some truly deplorable shit for the essence of comedy.
Well, think about, didn't he do like,
And it's
like
great.
50 minutes of just shitting all over Philadelphia at a show one
Yeah.
time?
Yeah,
Just because they were being assholes and he just
Yeah.
started talking shit. So,
Yeah.
man, I don't know. People are just looking for
he
something to be
talks
upset
shit about everything. That's his comedy, and he's very good at it. So why, like, how do you not and just like the way that he phrased every single one of his jokes, they were written as jokes,
Yeah.
but they were clearly there to bait you. Specifically, the people that are like, I can't believe he said that. How can you not believe it? He
Yeah,
set
I
that up
didn't-
specifically to get you to say that.
I didn't take it like that until you said that.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't put it together like that until you said that. But it makes sense because that is
it's a style.
Yeah, it's just what he does.
Yeah.
Fuck. But again, people are just looking for something to be upset about.
Yeah, and that just bothers the shit out of me. Like, people just walking around looking for things to be upset about. And it's like, listen, there are no shortage of things to be upset about.
Yeah.
Real things happening right now.
Yeah,
There's some real shit where you're like...
And Bill Burr's monologue is not one of them.
It is not one of them. Comedian does comedy should never be a headline.
No.
You don't open the paper and see, be like, dog bites man, you know? Fucking post office loses mail. The old man naps. You never see these things. You just know that they're happening in the background of the world.
Right.
I don't know. It just, again, it's one of those things where it's like people not using logic and reason bothers me.
But a lot of these, like, I know some of the people that I've seen, it wasn't a reaction to Bill Burr, but it's reactions to other things. I know people that I know personally that I'm like, man, these are logical individuals, and they are upset about something that I seem like I deem to be just, that is, what are you upset about? I don't know. Well, I don't get it. I guess it's not for me to get, though.
I'll walk you through the progression of exactly how it happens. It's when somebody feels like they are belittling, when they feel somebody is belittling their struggle, because everybody struggles. Everybody has hardships to overcome and pain and everything that they overdo.
Oh, so it's only white women that are upset about his jokes?
I think there was one other group that he made fun of, but I don't even remember that.
I just remember him making fun of white women and telling them to sit the fuck down and take the talking to.
Take the talking to. He rolled around in the blood money for fucking generations.
Sit down and take the talking to.
Yeah. Man. And but it's 100%. It's so good. But 100%, like, people feel like when somebody brings up their struggle and belittles it, they feel like their struggle is being belittled. And so they just react emotionally because they feel like their struggle is being belittled when it is not. It's not. Your struggle is not being belittled. Your struggle is valid because you validate it and overcome it.
I think I mean I'd be willing to bet you are extremely right.
Yeah.
You know, but I also would be willing to bet that a lot of these people that react the way they react didn't even give it a chance. They're reacting because it's just Bill Burr. Yeah. You know, and anything that he's done in the past. You know, and that was something that, who was I talking to the other day? Because they were talking about Trump and all this other stuff, and I'm not taking it political, but somebody shared this video with me of Joe Biden in like the mid 90s or so, or 88. I think he ran for president. I think is when it was, like 88, something like that.
When he was running in the primaries. Like,
don't get me wrong, but it was a long time ago. And he had been accused of plagiarism and apparently copped to it. And on multiple occasions, he had plagiarized speeches that he gave. Papers that he had written. Oh yeah. And the person that I was talking to when that video was presented to both of us, because I hadn't seen it and neither had he, but he is obviously pro Biden. Yeah. When you bring that up, he automatically says, well, that the past is the past. And I think that's the thing that's getting a lot of people is, you know, a woman or let me take that back, a person that gets upset about Bill Burr's joke. I don't think they're really responding to Bill Burr's joke. They're responding to something that upset them a long time ago. But if you bring up something in their past, I'd be willing to bet that they're like, oh, well, the past is the past. Yeah. You know, it's like Louis C.K. and his comedy getting, you know, canceled, and then people getting completely bent out of shape because they were still on an email, you know, an email list that he actually, if you read the entire email, it says, hey, I'm sorry if you're on this email and you don't want to be, click at the bottom and it says unsubscribe. Yeah. You know, click this link and it'll take you directly to the unsubscribe button at the bottom of the page and you don't have to read anymore. And that's how the fucking email started. And people went bananas over him sending that email out. Yeah. And they never fucking read it, because if they would have read it, they would have just unsubscribed and been done with their life. But people can't let it go. People can't fucking look to the future, and people can't not get upset these days, and they have to, everybody has to have a voice and have to have an opinion. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, so many people feel like if they're talking about, if they're talking about something that, like, especially about Bill Burr, they feel like their voice is elevated because they're taking part of somebody that is famous.
So they feel like their voice is elevated because they're taking a stance on X, Y, and Z issue.
Well, and they're also talking to like-minded people.
Yeah.
Somebody posted today, take a look at Joe Biden's page and look at how many people that you know like that page, and then take a look at Donald Trump's page and see how many people you know like that. Well, I mean, I lean conservative Republican, so 81 of my friends like Donald Trump and 7 of my friends like Joe Biden.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's a good or a bad thing, but at the end of the day, you're only exposed to what you're around.
Yeah.
And in a situation like Facebook, is the right term, speaking into an echo chamber, basically.
Yeah.
Because all you're doing is sending out the vibes that everybody already has.
The algorithm.
And nobody's going to argue you, so you naturally think that everybody thinks like me.
Yeah.
Because you get no challenge.
Yeah, you get no challenge, and the algorithm is specifically going to give you only things you like.
Yeah, I haven't watched that Social Dilemma yet, but I've been told it's very eye-opening as far as like how that works.
Yeah, exactly. The algorithm
it fuels the fire.
Yeah, the algorithm only secures your viewpoint and the things you like because it has to. It is a marketing platform.
Yeah, that's true.
Commercials aren't there to change the world; they're there to sell you things.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
It's just now they are selling, like, the problem is that politicians have become a commodity that you can buy and sell.
And that's a shame.
Yeah.
And that's, we've talked about it briefly, and I'll bring it up right now. And that's one of the reasons why I kind of have this wild and silly ass idea about attempting to run for mayor. Because look, I'm not naive enough to think that I could actually win, but I'm also not naive enough to think that I don't stand a chance.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think like I told you before, I'm stuck in a position where I can either continue to bitch about the city that I live in, I can leave this motherfucker, or I can try to do something about it. And I think if I could organically attempt to run for mayor, as silly as that fucking sounds, if I organically attempted to do it and people actually got behind it and actually wanted me to do it, I think that's how it would have to be done. Because I couldn't spend any money.
Yeah.
I couldn't claim to be, experienced. But again, I was talking to somebody the other day, and I don't think anybody can claim to be experienced to be a mayor, because until you're a mayor, you don't know how to be a mayor.
Yeah.
And all the research that I've done, a mayor realistically, here in Shreveport, the mayor decides the budget, hires all the department heads, and it has veto power over the city council, basically.
Yeah.
And the long and short of the mayor is actually supposed to be the face and the voice of the city. And man, with that criteria, I think I'd actually do a fucking good job.
Yeah. And here's the thing, even about, and here's the honor in being a candidate like that too. Because here's like the true, like everybody thinks, oh, the problem with gerrymandering is everybody has the opinion of like, oh, well, this is a Republican district, a Democrat.
What does gerrymandering mean?
Gerrymandering is the process by which you redraw voting districts in order to secure a voter base that is larger than your opponent's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like I said, every, I think, 10 years, they have to redraw voting districts based on population and a few other things.
Okay.
If you're the one holding the pen, then you're going to draw it to where you're the most advantageous kind of thing.
I got you.
And that's where a lot of people come and play about it and
that would be a city councilman that would have that type of...
No, it's done on the national level.
Oh, okay.
It's Congress that has the power to do that.
Okay, I got you now. Okay, I'm tracking.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm just using this as an example. But because, like I said, in like Democratic districts, let's say it's the most blue district that's ever been, like absolute blue, you're never going to win. And so like Republicans never send anybody to run against them because they think they're not going to win. But the honor in being the losing candidate or being it's the principle of being the honorable opposition, where it's just like, yeah, you're not going to win, but that's not what you're there for. You're there to raise the issues that are important to your base.
Right. And at the end of the day, I mean, I don't care if somebody runs with the ideas that I have and just takes off with it. That's fine. But I mean, we need some type of change here in this city.
You got to shape the debate. You have to bring up the ideas that...
Well, I had a conversation. I'm sorry to cut you off again, but I had a conversation with somebody, and he was somewhat debating me. Not debating me, but just kind of arguing.
Yeah.
playing devil's advocate as we were talking. And when we got done talking, he was like, man, you might want to actually consider what you're talking about, because what you say is fundamentally sound and not crazy at all.
Yeah.
And it's crazy for me to think about it because I'm a fucking nobody.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I am a nobody. And I don't pretend to be a somebody, but, you know, I've definitely been here my entire life in this city.
Consider this, though, as a thought experiment. How many people who think of themselves as nobodies would actually be amazing leaders?
A lot.
Yeah. Because they have compassion, balance of thought, true reason, rationale, and they've seen what it is for certain people to go through hard times. They would make amazing leaders. But the whole system is built to tell you that you're not going to be.
Right. And is it built to tell you you're not going to be because they don't want you to? Or
Absolutely.
Or because you're just not going to be. Because the thing that somebody said to me is that a politician is supposed to be of, for, and by the people.
Yeah.
And if I do what I'm attempting to do, then if it organically took off, obviously I'm of the people and I'm for the people. The last thing I would need is just to buy the people. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean purchase the people. I mean them get behind me. And when I say organic, I mean, again, I've got a job, I've got a wife, I've got kids to think about.
Yeah.
I can't just quit my job and decide on a whim, I'm going to be a politician and I'm going to focus on it. I don't have savings like that. I don't have it like that.
No.
But what I could do is I could take some of this recording equipment that I have. I can put out a short video that kind of explains who I am and what my idea is, and if people start sharing it around,
75 semi-long videos. For all of you that
but
like,
I mean that right
there
there is definitely not something to base it on, because we're here trying to be funny.
Yeah,
and this episode's definitely not trying to be.
You'd
funny.
be surprised how trying to be funny can get you elected.
Well, it's funny that you said you're right.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's something that is realistically I have these three choices.
Yeah.
And something's going to have to give, because the opportunity that we have here for my children to grow up and have a better life than I have is not necessarily the best.
Yeah.
You know, there's a few things that they could get into where they wouldn't have to own their own business and find success in a new way, basically be a trailblazer, because we're behind times here. There's not much to do here. People are already broke here. You know, there's no jobs here. And let me take that back. There's plenty of jobs here, but there are no careers here.
Yeah.
And it's things like that I feel like we need to like focus on and actually try to figure out, because I think if you figure out a way to get careers here, then all the other things start falling in line. All the family issues, all the home issues that people talk about. Yeah. And then the supporting of things like baseball teams, basketball teams, hockey teams, revels, movies, farmers markets, all of those things can only happen if the people of the city are actually turning a profit.
Yeah.
And they have money to spend.
Yeah.
If you're worried about, or you've got two jobs and you're working all the time, you don't have time to do much else.
Yeah.
You know, and I think
you don't have the energy to do anything else either.
And I think that's where, like, when I read that the mayor is actually supposed to be like the voice and the face and the spokesman of the city, that's when I kind of got a warm fuzzy inside, because for me, I don't know what the mayor does right now. Adrian Perkins, I don't claim to know what he does. I don't claim to know who he is as a person. I don't care. You know, all I'm basing my stuff on is what I see around the city, what I drive across, and what people are saying and on Facebook, and the people that I know, the experiences that they're having.
Yeah.
That's all I can base anything on. I don't buy into any of the bullshit that anybody says about anybody else, and I wouldn't.
Yeah. And
that wouldn't be the kind of politics that I would attempt to play in what I'm trying to do here. Because again, I don't know these motherfuckers. I don't know who any of I don't care who the candidate was, unless it was a friend of mine. I don't know them.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't claim to know them. And I can't sit here and say, like, I mean, and that's what I bring that up because the person I was talking to brought it up. And he was like, you know, what if they brought up, you know, something in your past, like we've talked about it openly here, my possession charge.
Yeah.
Well, what if they bring that up? It's like, well, what if they bring it up? It's what happened. What am I gonna fucking lie about it? Run from it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's, again, if you want,
especially in Shreveport, I'm sure plenty of fellow voters would fucking have been through a similar experience.
And even if they haven't, it doesn't matter. It's what happened. It happened. I dealt with it. Now, if you want to hear the story of it, that's where the city's not going to look too good, because when I tell the story of it, you know, at the end of the day, it cost me $785, 30 hours of community service. But they sent 9 sheriffs to my house along with everything else that had to happen. How much money did it cost them to collect $785?
Yeah.
And have me clean the Blanchard Police Department for 30 hours?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and again, somebody bringing that up, it doesn't necessarily have a good ending for anybody at the end of the day. Because, I mean, who cares? Yes, it happened. I did it. So if somebody wants to frown upon that, they want to frown upon that.
Yeah.
But when I tell the story, then it makes the city look like shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the way
The
that
city
we
doesn't
and the
need
way
any
that
help
we do
looking like
things.
shit.
Yeah, no, we really don't. And I don't know, man. It's something that I'm really starting to consider tossing around.
Yeah. You got to.
I don't know, man. I don't know. What I was getting at is the mayor being the spokesman of the city, and what I think they should be doing is, I mean, again, I don't know what he's doing or what any of them have ever done, but man, I'd Google search every fucking corporation that makes something. Mm-hmm. I need you here.
Yeah.
Elon Musk, come make some batteries,
Mm-hmm.
some solar panels, you know, manufacture fucking railroad ties. I don't give a shit what you make here. Come make something here. Libby Glass is closing or closed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
AT&T closed a long time ago. GM closed a long time ago. We used to make fucking weed eaters and chainsaws and telephones and cars and trucks. We used to do a lot of shit here. Strategically, we've got, you know, we have a port. We have interstates. We have this. We have that. And we have people.
Yeah.
You know, between Shreveport and Bossier, I think we're like 300,000, 350,000 strong between Shreveport and Bossier. And I'd be willing to bet that, you know, we can find some people that can fill these job positions.
And low-cost workforce.
Well,
because the cost of living is so much lower here.
Yeah.
The what they pay people is also pretty low. So, I mean, fucking low-cost workforce.
Yeah, but I mean, I would not be somebody that would want to try to bargain, you know, oh man, we're going to bring jobs here. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to be able to bring here, but I will tell you this, I will do everything I can to try to not strike deals with these people that cost us money in the long run.
Yeah.
You know, because it's fine and dandy for a business to come here, but it's also like, at what cost? They get 10 years worth of property tax for free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? On a fucking $200 million building that they built. Obviously, that'd be an insane building. But,
yeah,
you know, either way it goes, you can't really strike deals like that because at the end of the day, the city still needs to be taken care of.
Yeah. And, like, that's something to, like, really bring up with, like, other mayors as well, where, you know, just get a whole bunch of mayors together and just be like, guys, we're fucking... Because the problem is like all these cities and states now have such a competitive atmosphere where they're just cutting off their nose to spite their face, where they're like, yeah, we brought this facility here. Yeah, but how much is that costing you to bring that facility there? So every single state just needs to fucking band together and just be like, no, we have infrastructure to offer you. We have a workforce to offer you. We have X, Y, and Z to offer you. And we'll fucking name a couple streets after you. Whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Like real minuscule but fun stuff. But they need to stand up and go, we're not giving you huge tax breaks anymore.
We can't.
We cannot afford to do it.
You know, at this point in time, I think too much emphasis was put on in the past about being a government employee, and then the benefit side of it, and then money has been mismanaged. You know, at every turn. I read somewhere a few months back that we're coming up on like 42%. The state of Louisiana is coming up on like 42% of its annual budget is retirement benefits.
Yeah.
And that's going to be like, when does that number get over half, and when can you not sustain that anymore? You know, and it's things, and I know that's crazy and radical, but it's things like that need to really be looked at. Like, hey, if you're an employee and you've only been here for 10 years, whatever you paid in, I'm going to cut you a check today and you're going to get it back. Do whatever you want.
Between 10 and 15 years, with life expectancy expanding, number of people retiring versus age gap, baby boomers, stuff like that, it would be roughly in about 15 years close to 60%.
Well, with that being said, at some point in time, somebody really needs to take a look into things like that, because it's going to become unsustainable for you
Yeah.
to be able to offer that on a, I guess, a public level. You're going to have to do it yourself.
Yeah.
You're going to have to set up your own retirement. The city and state can't do it because clearly they can't manage it. Now, maybe, 20, 30 years from now, things might change if money can be managed right. But
Yeah. But it takes, again, like that's one of the things that I would see you being able to do best at is like actually get together a fucking coalition of mayors and just be like, listen, we can't afford to keep doing this, but we all try to underbid each other constantly. We all just need to fucking stand up, and yeah, we all won't get it, but one of us will, and it will actually benefit the community that does.
Because you're not that far away, and my people that live here can drive to your fucking place. It means 400 employees.
Yeah. And
and that's actually a really good idea. I never even thought about anything like that. Because again, I'm not experienced,
But yeah,
nobody is.
But that's the thing about it. It's like it's the fact that like the competitive atmosphere of all these cities is leading to the fact where they're all underbidding each other. Like the fucking Amazon put out a fucking bidding war. We're like, yeah, we're looking to open up a new facility, and fucking cities would cut down to the bone to try and get that facility there.
Yeah.
Not realizing that you're like, yeah, the people that are there are going to pay taxes, but most of that's going to be federal taxes. Your property taxes that you're not getting from there mean that your infrastructure is going to suffer, and your entire citizenry is going to suffer because of it. So if you're not, if everybody isn't playing on the same field, then you're fucked.
Right. And I watched this thing a few months back. I think we talked about it before, but it was this thing about property tax, in particular in the state of Louisiana, and how there is a board of people that get together, and there's like 300, 400 corporations that basically just get an auto renewal for no reason other than these people got together and were like, hey, y'all ready to go do lunch? Everybody passes. Let's roll. And they just wash away 90%, 99% of the property taxes for these huge companies.
Yeah.
And that's, a lot of people don't realize that property tax is how schools are funded and roads and red lights and sidewalks.
Yeah. And to state the other part of the argument, because I always feel like it's fair because from what I just said, to state the other side that people often remark, they were like, well, no, the people that work there will buy houses, pay into those property taxes.
Well, but you get homestead exemption I can definitely see an individual getting a property tax exemption.
Yeah.
They apply for it and they get it based on a number of things. But I can definitely see an individual getting a property tax exemption. Like it's called homestead exemption.
Yeah, I know.
And I could see that happening. Problem.
But that's the thing. Like, if you count on like all of this other revenue generated from that rather than just that thing generating revenue from you, no matter what, you're always losing money because you're purposefully not generating that part of your income.
Right. And when you were saying that a person could come and buy a house, well, even if they come and buy a house, they're not, because of homestead exemption, they have the potential of not paying property tax either.
Yeah.
So the argument would be flawed in that nature.
Exactly.
Because of the fact that, and look, we have to start collecting money in a responsible manner. And then let me take that back. We don't have to start collecting money at all yet. What we have to do is figure out where the fuck our money is going and why.
Yeah.
Because the research I did the other day, I believe they were 2018 numbers. So please excuse me.
No trouble.
But the city's annual budget is $500 million, and the employee count is somewhere to like 2,600, 3,600, something like that.
Yeah.
To the tune of, it comes out to $185,000 per employee is what our budget is.
Yeah.
And I know the employees aren't making that much money. You know? So I know the money is being spent elsewhere, infrastructure, utilities, things of that nature. And to me, I think what would really need to happen is a true, let me comb through and see where money's actually going.
Yeah.
And so we know what we're actually spending. How much is being spent on this? How much is being spent on that? What's being spent here? And then you need to stop and evaluate, where are my employees at? Where are these 26, 3,600 employees? Where do they sit at? Are they cops? Are they city employees? Excuse me. Are they city employees? Are they what? Blah, blah, blah. And you don't necessarily adjust things, but you start shifting people to where you need them.
Yeah.
You know, hey, traffic engineering, you got 22 people, you only need 15. We're going to take the low end guys that you have that are still training or don't have any whatever, and we're going to offer them a position over here where we need them, whether it's streets and drainage, sanitation, inner office people, wherever the case may be, wherever it's better suited that we need employees. And if you don't want to take that job, that's fine, but you'll have to quit.
Yeah.
Because this is the position that I have for you.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that it's, you know, it's slinging trash or whatever it is, but this is where we need people. And we have to start shifting our people around so that way we don't end up getting extreme amounts of overtime getting hit by employees because they're overworked.
Yeah.
You know, and then once you find out where your money's going, then you can start trying to improve the quality of life that you have going on around here.
Yeah.
Because somebody needs to clean these fucking interstates. These interstates are nasty and dirty, and this is what visitors see immediately.
Yeah.
Grass needs to be cut. You need to fucking get a power washer out there once every 6 months or something like that. This place needs to be cleaned up because it looks like shit. And I know from my personal experience, when my house is dirty, my grass is not cut, my truck is dirty, I feel like shit. I feel dirty, uncut, and cluttered.
Yeah.
And once I address all of those things and I clean it up, my chest pokes out, I stand up a little bit straighter, I sit on the front porch sipping my coffee or whatever. I don't drink coffee. I don't know if I said that, but I sit on my front porch sipping my soda, admiring my front yard, waving and talking to my neighbors. And something happens to you when you do those kind of things where you get things cleaned up. You can see straight lines in your front yard. This city needs to do that exactly.
Yeah.
And it needs to be done very fucking quickly because there are people that are suffering. A friend of mine, for example, on Facebook today was talking about he called 911 last night because he heard 4 gunshots in a row and then another single gunshot and people screaming and hollering. He went outside to kind of see what was going on. There's some dude half naked or something walking around fucking screaming and hollering and threatening him. He calls 911 and they hang up on him. You know, and I don't know what that 911 operator had going, but what I do know is there is a citizen that felt unsafe and then got zero assurance, anything from the city in which he pays taxes to have all these amenities in.
Yeah.
And how many times can you do that before you start taking away, you know, the guy that owns this restaurant or the guy that owns this business or the guy that owns this glass company? You know what I'm saying? And he starts taking his shit elsewhere or he closes his business and moves. You know what I'm saying? And you piss off one person and it affects 9 people's lives. We really need to stop and take a look at where we live and what we're doing. And I know it sounds ridiculous and crazy, and I appreciate you letting me rant on this episode, but I know it sounds ridiculous and crazy, but...
And here's the thing. It's the fact that you think that sounds ridiculous and crazy.
Tell me it
because
doesn't.
it doesn't.
Tell me you're being honest with me that it doesn't sound crazy? That I am talking about trying to run for mayor.
Because here's exactly...
Organically.
Here's exactly what's happening right now, and here's why it's not crazy. What's happening right now is that you are seeing problems. You are seeing problems from the inception all the way to how they could play out and harm people. You're seeing problems, and you're like, man, there are like 18... I don't know maybe the most right thing to do, but I do know there has to be a right way to do this. I do know that there has to be some kind of fix for it, which is what people do. People say, there's a problem, we should fix it. Who's there to fix it? Right now, nobody? Shit, I guess I have to fix it. That's literally the entire process of what you're going through right now. And no part of it's crazy. It's literally, it's the most fucking, like, basic thing that you could do. The most, like, fucking honest, hardworking, trying to do the right thing person thing you could do, which is see a problem and go, hey, is there anybody around that fixes these things? No? Shit, I guess I gotta fucking roll up my sleeves and do it, because nobody else seems to be doing it.
But I mean, to me, it sounds crazy, and I know people are going to think it's crazy. I mean, I know people that know me and know me from the past, and like, man, that's a wild motherfucker. What the fuck is he talking about? Or he's not a politician; he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, exactly. And that's part of the problem too. Is that like there's this ethos, there's this idea to where you have to already be a politician to be a politician.
Right, but you don't. And I'm slowly but surely understanding that. And again, I'm in this weird position where I have 3 options.
Mm-hmm.
And option 1 is stick around, not do anything, bitch about it, and just be one of these people that you see talking shit about the roads and vote no to every fucking thing and bitch and complain about all of it. And also watch my family grow up in a place that I've watched my entire family, my father, my mom, my brother, his kids, me, all the things that I've dealt with and experienced in life. This city has a way about it that it's easy to exercise your fuck it muscle.
Yeah.
And it's easy just to say fuck it, not worry about it. You know, and it's easy to have a mediocre job that only pays, you know, $8 an hour, $9 an hour, or 2 jobs that only pay $8, $9 an hour, and bitch and bitch and bitch and just keep on going, because it is not too expensive to live here.
Yeah.
You do know how to get around because the city's not that big. Everybody knows you from somebody else because it's actually kind of a small place.
And it's cathartic to bitch.
Yeah, and it is where you've been your entire life, and it's cathartic to bitch. And it's easy to just fall into it and just let it happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we have a lot of issues that need to be addressed, and I don't claim to know the answer to all of them. I don't claim to be able to fix any of them, but I at this point, what really kind of set me off today was I was coming off the interstate, and I've talked about it on the podcast before. I was coming off the interstate, coming from Bossier, and that fucking ice chest lid is still on the off-ramp coming from Bossier going to Erie Drive, North Market, or Spring Street, or whatever exit that is. When you stay to the left of the V, that fucking ice chest lid is still sitting over there. And it was March 7th.
The first time you brought it up.
The first time I saw it. And
day
here it
that will
is,
live in
October 12th. And that fucking lid is still just sitting there. And how hard is it to get somebody to clean that up? How hard is it to get a city truck to ride behind a city truck, throw its hazards on, slow people down, and have them just pick that up? How hard is it? I know we own a street sweeper. How hard is it to run a street sweeper down the interstates? You know, it's not difficult. And this is what visitors are seeing. Why do we have grass growing out of every fucking broken edge of concrete, up and down 20, up and down 49? Why do we have hard watermarks that fucking, you know, at every turn? Why don't we do anything to make this city look and feel better so the citizens feel better about where they live? That whole fucking keep it, stay classy, keep whatever it is.
Yeah, keep Shreveport classy.
And don't be trashy. Don't be trashy, keep it classy. That's what it is. You know, that shit hadn't worked. Because, I mean, I walked past 2 parking spaces today that had motherfuckers dumping fucking ashtrays out in the middle of the parking lot. You know what I mean? Like, you know how whenever you see 50 cigarette butts in a pile?
Yeah.
You know, that's somebody just opened their ashtray up and dumped it out on the floor, on the ground. And it's, people do that kind of shit, you know,
because they do nothing but see trash everywhere else.
When you live in a dirty house, there was, I won't say any names, but there was a guy that I knew. There's a guy that I know. His roommate in college. They were the dirtiest motherfuckers ever. This motherfucker, one of the first times I ever met him, he's eating this gigantic bowl of cereal. And it's fucking huge. It's like a mixing bowl.
Yeah.
And it's full of cereal and milk. And he's like, oh, and he takes a bite of it and sets it down beside him and reaches up and shakes my hand like, nice to meet you. And then he sits back, like leans back into the couch, and his bowl of cereal just kind of flops over him and spills on him. All of this milk, all this cereal spills out on him, and he just kind of shoves it off of him and then kicks back and starts watching TV like nothing just happened. You know, and it's dirty mindset is going to be what keeps this place dirty and down.
Yeah. And
people are not going to want to invest in here if you can't get this place cleaned up. And people are damn sure not going to want to invest in here if you don't ever make it an option for them.
Yeah.
we need some type of change. We need some type of leadership. And I don't think, as crazy as it sounds to me, I think I would like to make that. I think I would like to attempt to make that change.
All we need now is for a fly to land right on your head.
Oh, how great would that be?
That would make people pay attention. That would make people
It
immediately
definitely
know everything.
would. Well, speaking of paying attention, I know I've rambled. We're at 44 minutes. So
Holy shit.
I'm sorry, man. I had to get that off my chest. I've been thinking about it for a couple of
I'm
days.
so glad for it, but
I've been thinking about
I
it
did not
for-
realize we'd gone 44 minutes.
Well, I'm gonna show a video here. And
Oh, dude, yes, this is a mattress thing.
Yeah. Speaking of not paying attention, I mean, she gets boom.
Oh.
She gets fucking railed by a damn queen mattress, man.
Oh man, I love that they pack mattresses so tight though. Like, is there nothing fucking more satisfying than when a mattress just fucking does that?
I haven't had to cut one of those open yet, thank God. Man, that is so funny. But I have seen the way they come packaged, and it is insane to me that they're able to get them that tight.
Yeah, it's just, oh god, it's so fucking cathartic.
So I thought this was another thing that irritated me today, which I'm not going to get into political and why this irritated me, but
everybody's irritated by
yeah,
it.
well, but it sucks that every state marked in red is where minimum wage earners can afford a 2-bedroom rental.
Yeah.
And none of the states are marked in red.
Yeah. That's because no states can.
Well, again, my opinion on that is minimum wage is not something that's supposed to be lived off of. It's supposed to keep kids and other workers from being exploited. And that, again, that brings me to the problem of there's no careers available. And that's where the problem is people are trying to live off of the jobs that are around, which are minimum wage, which are really designed to be new up-and-coming people. You're not supposed to be in a minimum wage job when you're 30-something, 40-something. But I understand it's what's happening. And that's because the careers are going away.
Yeah.
And like you said, the cities need to be able to fight, especially cities within the state.
And also with like the majority of these having no worker unions, there's nobody to advocate for their rights, treatment, or pay.
I have mixed reviews about unions.
There's always mixed reviews about unions.
I've never been in one, so I don't really have an opinion. I just have mixed thoughts on whatever preconceived ideas that I have about unions. I don't know if they're right or wrong, but I have thoughts about it. Yeah. And again, that's another thing why I think when me and this person were talking, one of the other things that was brought, I guess, in favor of me doing what I'm attempting or talking about doing is that my mind is not made up necessarily. It was at one point in time.
Yeah.
You know, I remember saying, oh, never will I ever, you know, blah, blah, blah. And here I am almost 40 and I'm like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
McRib is back.
Yeah. Like,
you know?
like everything has an option because every single option has both positive and negative connotations to it. Your job is just to find the most positive for the least amount of cost. And sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong, but nobody fucking has a magic 8-ball. If any politician was perfect and just fucking nailed it, there would never be another politician. We would just clone the fuck out of that guy
or just keep hiring him for the same job.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing is like one of the things that I've been reading on Facebook is that everybody feels like the representation that we have in Shreveport right now is a stepping stone for that individual. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing that, like, I don't have a desire to realistically be a politician. I'll be mayor of Shreveport for a few years.
Yeah.
And if I do a good job and the people say we want to keep you around and see what you can do for a few more years, then I'll do that.
Yeah. But then you'll probably just transfer to like city council or some shit.
Well, I mean, I think I would do whatever it is that the city is wanting me to do. And that's kind of like where I'm at with all of this. Yeah. If I put this out and people realistically want me to do it and they share it and they like it and they talk about it and they, it goes viral and people ask me, what is your opinion of this? And I put videos out. Because, again, I don't have money to put towards a campaign.
No.
It would have to be either people donating money to me and that's what I use to do that. But I still have a day job that I have to do.
Yeah.
I work Monday through Friday, and I'm on call a lot. And I mean, hell, I was working when you got here.
Exactly. Yeah, no, all the money that was donated, I'd be the one spending it, basically. I'd be the one being like, okay, we're going to put Ads here. We're gonna
Yeah,
fucking
and it's-
build these
and-
lawn signs.
And it's things like that like.
Johnny's not available for pictures, so I'm just gonna pull a Facebook photo of him for the pamphlet.
I mean, I would make myself available, but again, it'd have to be kind of like, it would have to be, you know, hey, don't forget I got kids that are in school that I got to do homework and bedtime, so you know I can do these things. And then once my job is that, you know what I'm saying? Like if my job is mayor, then I mean I saw what the mayor makes, and I don't make that now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And if I was given a 4-year contract with the city to do my best, they compensate you well.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't start campaigning 2 years later to try to fucking win re-election. I would let what I do be my campaign.
Yeah.
Am I doing a good job? Yes or no? And if the people do not think I am, I wouldn't even attempt to run again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, look, I want to try, but I don't want to make you guys fucking, you know, I don't want to lie to nobody. I don't want to talk no shit.
Yeah, I don't want to run a giant PR operation to make you feel like I'm made out of candy. Like,
and I don't want to tell you, oh, we're going to do this and I got a plan. No, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I promise you. The one thing I can promise you is that I will do my best. I can't promise anything else. I can't say read my lips.
If anybody does promise anything else, they're fucking lying.
They can't do it.
Yeah.
Because nobody knows what kind of obstacles you realistically have in your way once you get in there. You know, and I have fully stated to the people that I've talked to, even you, is that if I had something that, hey, the city wants us to do this, you know, because everybody's talking about it. However, I get my information, however they get it to me.
Yeah.
People are talking about it. The people want this, and then there's somebody that says, "Oh, we can do it, but you got to scratch this." And I know.
Yeah.
And as soon as something like that happens, hey, this is the reason why you guys, why this isn't happening. It's because of this person. So remember that next time that you have to order something from them, or if they're a council, whatever the case may be, I would be as transparent as possible to the city that elected me, because I am of, for, and by the people. And I think one of the biggest problems that politicians have right now is they're not afraid of the people.
Yeah.
And the people have given them plenty of reason not to be afraid of them.
Yeah.
But doing something, you know, like the Donald Trumps getting elected, or the Ocasio-Cortezes, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, or, you know, any of these radical people that have gotten elected. I say radical, new blood, new breed, new opinions, new ideas, whatever that you want to look at it. I'm not for or against anybody, and I'm not going to say that out loud. But new people being elected is obviously something that can happen. It's not outside of the scope of reality.
Yeah.
But here, I don't think the same old thing is going to work anymore.
I don't think the same old thing's working anywhere.
Well, I don't care about anywhere else. I care about here. I care about my little neck of the woods where my family's from. And if it parlays into like, hey, the state's like, hey, we kind of want your ideas and expertise after 10, 12, or 12, 14,
Lake
16
Charles,
years.
Baton Rouge, they kind of need a helping hand.
Yeah, if somebody says
and again,
something,
coalition of mayors.
Exactly. And if something like that happened and we could make this state a better place, I would love nothing more. I hate the weather here. I hate the mosquitoes here, but I'm from here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know the fastest ways around town. I know the red light timing. I know the owners of this and that. My kids are friends with people that I went to elementary, middle, and high school with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
This isn't a huge city, but it ain't a small city, and it is where I'm from. Born and raised. P&S Hospital over on Line and Jordan Street. And yes, I call it Jordan because I'm fucking from here. Born and raised right here. This is my home.
Yeah.
And as scared as I am of leaving it, I'm willing to do that because of the 3 people that I have inside.
Yeah.
And the chance that I want to make sure that they have.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, in the end, like, this is your home. If something's broken in your home,
we need to fix it.
You fix it.
And, you know, I know
and if you don't fix it long enough, then you have to move.
Yeah. No, you're right, because it falls down apart around you. And at the end of the day, I got a lot of friends that have kids that are growing up in this shit that are going to have the exact same scenario. And, you know, maybe they don't even give a shit about it. Maybe, I don't know. But I know I feel oddly drawn to trying to do this. I've talked about it when I was a kid. You know, I used to say Gates for mayor when, you know, any of y'all that know me from middle school and high school, Gates for mayor, Gates for president. I want to say I was going to run for president in 2020 is what I was supposed to. Or 2024 or something like that. I don't remember what it was, but back in high school, we used to talk all sorts of shit about that. And I'm at a point now where there's a lot of things that I'm seeing, infrastructure, roads, people's attitudes, you know, cleanliness. You hear about the crime, you hear about the gunshots, you hear about, you know, both sides of it. The cops beating the shit out of somebody in custody, you know, all of these things that are taking place. And, you know, there being this, we have a huge void here, and that void is,
it's decaying.
That void's getting bigger.
Yeah.
And it's something that I think can be, I think it's something that can be fixed if we just try.
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer is, but I mean,
Jonny Gates, everybody. Future candidate
Gates
for mayor.
for mayor.
Yep.
I'm going to put a video out. I think I'm going to do it. I think that's why I started talking about
I'll be
this.
his pessimistic nihilist campaign manager.
I had this whole, like, I got super toasted the other night, and while it was raining, I had this whole argument on the front porch of should I or should I not. And I played, you know, devil's advocate in my head as to why I shouldn't, and then I argued against why I should, and it's about 50-50, man. I mean, I shouldn't do it because, you know, I'm not a politician, and who gives a shit? Let somebody else sort it out. And I shouldn't do it because people are going to make fun of me or think I'm a fool or call me names. I shouldn't do it because people are going to bring up my past and, you know, ask me questions that might be hard to answer. Or I shouldn't do it because, you know, it's going to take a lot of time and effort, and if you get it wrong, you know, now you've got, you know, a bad history. And I shouldn't do it because whatever, but I should do it because of my kids. I should do it because of my friends. I should do it because of my city. I should do it because this is my life, and this is where I've lived, and this is where I'm gonna live. And to me, the weight of the I shoulds are heavier than the weight of the I shouldn'ts.
Yeah.
Because I don't give a fuck what somebody says about me. Leave my wife and kids out of this. That's where you'll see me get mad. Fuck with my wife and kids. Talk all the shit you want about me.
Yeah, he's looked like that for 40 years. He's more than accustomed to.
If that's not a joke, I can show you a picture from kindergarten. I've looked like this for 40
Full
years.
beard. His mother was
came
shocked.
out with a beard. Yeah, they said I slid right out. No, again, I don't give a shit about what you got to say about me. I've done stupid shit in the past. I've done wrong. I've done right. I've done silly. I've done smart. I've done bad. I've done illegal, and fuck you, bring it all up. I don't give a shit, you know, at this point in time, because at the end of the day, the prize at the end of the tunnel is a potentially better city for me, my friends, and my family, and my friends' family, and my neighbors, and my firemen, and all of these people that I know.
And that's the thing.
I'll take that hit.
Everybody thinks that they shouldn't for all the reasons that you just mentioned, but the call of a good leader is the fact that you're willing to sacrifice that to do for the potential of doing something right.
Yeah, because I don't know what people are going to say about me, and I know that.
Oh, I got a list.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I've got some ideas in my head what people are going to say, you know, but at the end of the day, all I'm trying to do is figure out a way to make this place better or get out of here.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be that big of a, I guess, a burden on me to attempt to make it better before I get out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if 4 years from, you know, say, you know, I guess it'd be 6 years from now, or 5 years from now, because the election would be in 2022. Is that right?
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty sure that's when it is. We'll
so in 2026, I did a terrible job. Nobody likes me. I'm out of here. Well, guess what? I'm leaving. My plan was to either do something good or leave.
Yeah.
I'll leave.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll take the money that I saved up while being, you know, mayor, or my corruption money that I pocketed because I ended up being a shitty mayor. And that's the other thing is I'm not dumb enough to ever say that I could never be corrupted. I know that if I get into a position like this, you are going to be confronted with what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You know, somebody offers you $100,000, $1 million, $2 million. We'll send your kids to this, or we'll do that, or whatever the case may be. You're going to be confronted with that, and I would be confronted with that. And I'm not stupid enough to sit here and say I would never because I don't know. And I think that's the thing that really needs to be, like, I'm trying to be honest here.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that separates anything else that's going on right now from anything else that could happen, is nobody is being honest. When a politician now does not have the answer, they make one up instead of just saying, I don't know, man, I have to get back with you on that one.
Yeah, they just obfuscate and fucking just be like, just fill time with platitudes and nothingness.
Man, what do you plan on doing about this, Mr. Gates? You know what? Never thought about it until right now. I'd have to take some notes. You got that written down for me? All right, we'll have to discuss it and I have to get back with you.
I'm going to have to talk
Call me next Thursday after me and my guys
I'm going to have to talk to somebody who knows more than me about this.
Yeah.
And that's not a thing you should ever be afraid to say. Be like, I'm going to have to talk to somebody that knows more about this than I do.
No, I learned a long time ago that the only wrong question is an unasked question, and only a fool pretends he knows the answer to something that he doesn't.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you start trying to rattle off some bullshit answer, there's somebody else that knows what's up, and they're going to call you on it.
Yeah.
And even if they're not, you're lying. Let's get that out of the way.
Yeah. If you know you're lying, just be like, I fucking don't. Like, it's so much easier just to be like, I don't know. I just don't. I admit that there are going to be a lot of things in this job I don't know, but it's pretty easy to find out, and I'm going to have a pretty good time of finding this stuff out. So yeah, give me a few days. I'll thoroughly research it, and I'll have an answer for you on the best thing that I think.
I do think I could be a good spokesman for the city, a good voice, a good face. Well, maybe not a face, but face for radio.
Face for radio.
No, but I think I could definitely be a good cheerleader. I don't know how you would want to put that. Spokesman, whatever.
Advocate for the city.
Advocate for the city. I think I could definitely do that.
Yeah, let's get you out of the idea of a cheerleader outfit. So we're going to call it advocate.
I want pom-poms and a short-ass skirt.
Nope, we're going to call it advocate for the city.
Well, if I do squats between now and then and I get a really bubbly ass,
I think
that
that makes it worse. I don't know how, but I know that makes it worse.
See, you sound like my wife. You're crushing my dreams every time.
I'm the pessimistic realist nihilist. That's my job as your campaign manager.
Whatever. We can't have sex in the changing booth. All right, fine, honey.
Talk to me after 3 Chardonnays. You gotta get your wife the peach milkshakes and the Chardonnays, and then it'll fucking happen.
Okay. Well, let me write that down. Did you get that? Write that down for me.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am so sorry that I rambled on about being mayor. If you guys actually think the idea is something I should run with, please like, subscribe, share. Tell me if you think I'm an idiot. Like, subscribe, share, and tell me. Common denominator, like, subscribe, and share this shit, because we need to get
And if you know
out.
anybody that is political, has any political aspirations, or like anybody that would have an opinion on this video from the political side of it, definitely share it with them and have them, either ask, answer, or send us some questions. We'd love to answer them.
Reach out and holler at me and come on this show. And you can sit right in that chair over there and tell me how big of an idiot I am, or why I should and why I shouldn't. Mm-hmm. And we can actually have a conversation about it and figure out if this is something that's worthwhile. But if it is something that you like, share it. And if you're watching it off of something that somebody shared and you got something to say, come on, let's talk about it. Because at the end of the day, I want to fix this place. I want to have a better home for me and my family. And I cannot say that any more sincere than I am right now.
If we all dig together, we strike gold that much faster.
Yeah,
so get your shovel and ask some questions, and we'll just start digging this shit.
Yeah, and we'll figure it out. Because I'd love an opportunity to fix this city and earn the trust of the people that are around me to possibly do it for a long period of time. Because realistically, being the mayor, that's a really good job.
Yeah.
Like financially, that would take care of. What we make now is less than what the mayor makes. Mm-hmm. And man, that would be a huge game changer for me and my family as far as quality of life, paying debt that we've accumulated off and things like that, and figuring out how to be better at what we're doing, what I mean? So but anyway, thank you guys. I love you guys.
Full love, like, comment, subscribe, share, and if this video did anything, hopefully it will inspire you to either make the choice of who's to lead you or to fix a problem that you see.
Or invoke change your damn self, because that's what we're about to try to do. So thanks again, you guys. We'll see you.